God says, your appointed time is no longer far, it is knocking at your door. Chosen one, if these words make your heart tremble, it is no coincidence. It is a signal from heaven. You are not here by chance, not wandering aimlessly into this moment like a ship lost at sea. You are standing exactly where heaven has destined you to be, long before you even knew this moment would exist. There are no accidents in destiny. There are only divine appointments, and right now you are standing in the very place where prophecy collides with reality, where the unseen hand of God reaches through the veil to pull you forward. Heaven has whispered your name, not in the quiet of night, but in the thunder of this exact moment. The shift you have been longing for is no longer something distant and uncertain. It has already begun to form in the unseen realms. It is moving toward you, marked with your endurance, your tears, and your name written in heavenly ink. The breakthrough you have prayed for is no longer waiting for permission. It is already en route, already coded with your essence. And do not dismiss what you have walked through, because you have endured valleys that would have broken others. You have stood beneath pressures that should have crushed your spirit. You have stood in shadows where despair clawed at your mind and whispered that it was over, yet still, something inside you refused to die. When everything around you crumbled, something unshakable within you kept moving forward, even when all you had left to hold was faith. That fire was never ordinary resilience. It was the unmistakable mark of the chosen. It was heaven's signature stamped upon your soul, proof that you are not like the rest, proof that you were set apart for something greater than mere survival. You were not meant to crawl through life unnoticed. You were destined to rise. And now, as heaven calls your name again, the time for hiding is over. This is the moment to awaken. This is the moment to stand. If this word ignited your spirit, don't stay silent. Comment, I receive it. Or 777 as your prophetic yes to God, declaring you're stepping out of hiding and into your appointed time. Heaven has called your name now. Answer. God says, I saw every step you took through the valley they thought would destroy you. You did not stumble into destiny by accident. You bled your way here. The path that carried you to this moment was carved through seasons of silence, nights drenched in tears, and battles no one else even knew you were fighting. While others turned away when the fire grew too hot, you stayed. While others collapsed under the weight, you kept walking, not because you were strong, but because something divine inside you refused to let go. That was not a weakness. That was evidence. Every shadow you walked through was a test of endurance, and you passed what would have buried most. The nights when your prayers echoed back unanswered were not abandonment, they were sacred training. When doors slammed shut in your face, it was not rejection, it was redirection from the hand of God. And when you sat alone in rooms that once overflowed with voices, heaven was stripping away the noise so you could hear the whisper of your calling. Understand this. You survived what was meant to silence you, because you were never meant to live quietly. The enemy tried to bury your name under disappointment, but heaven inscribed it deeper. Every wound became proof of your resilience. Every loss became the soil where unshakable faith was planted. And now, that faith has matured into the currency of your breakthrough. Others see only the surface, the smile, the calm, the strength, but God saw the war behind your eyes. He saw how you kept showing up when everything in you screamed to quit. He saw the nights you held yourself together with nothing but whispers of hope, and heaven has ruled. You are no longer just a survivor. You are a carrier of destiny. The valley was never your grave. It was your proving ground. You were not being punished. You were being prepared. The very pressure that tried to crush you has forged you into a vessel heaven can trust. And now, because you did not break, you are about to carry what others could not survive long enough to hold. This is why the weight of glory coming toward you matches the weight of pain you once carried. God says, the declaration is final, the big check is real, literal, authorized, and already in motion toward you. This is not comfort language or a poetic metaphor. Heaven has stamped it with approval. Your name is being spoken in rooms you have not entered, Contracts are tilting in your favor. Approvals are being signed. Accounts are aligning. Opportunities are being redirected into your path. You think nothing is happening, but in truth, everything is happening, and the spiritual decree is simply catching up to the physical. When it lands, it will be unmistakable, not man's doing, but heaven's intervention. Understand the nature of what is coming. This is not survival money, not a temporary patch, not a trickle. It is provision for vision, capital for building, room to expand, power to revive what you shelved because resources were thin. Scarcity taught you how to stretch. Overflow will teach you how to multiply. Heaven does not release weighty wealth into untrustworthy hands. The very fact that this check is on its way is evidence that you have been found faithful not only to receive, but to steward, distribute, and transform. This carries generational weight. Your bloodline and community will taste its fruit. Expect the manner of its arrival to carry the signature of the miraculous and the practical at once. Deposits will clear faster than forecasts. Paperwork that has stalled for months will accelerate in days. Phone calls you weren't expecting will open corridors you could not have forced. Gifts will arrive with no explanation but divine timing. This will not be a slow drift. It will strike like lightning, sudden, undeniable, impossible to ignore. You will know in your spirit, this is the moment I was waiting for. Do not apologize. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. Receive boldly. Receive fully. Wealth, in this context, is not merely provision, it is prophecy fulfilled. The money that arrives is a sign of identity, a confirmation of destiny, and fuel for your future. You are not called to hoard, you are called to multiply. With increase comes elevation not only in resources, but in influence and responsibility. You will look back at the version of you who endured lack and understand. Each scar was a seed. Each trial prophesied the abundance now flowing. The equation is balanced. The weight of glory matches the weight of pain you carried. Your posture now must be alignment, not anxiety. Gratitude is your magnet. Expectancy is your speed. Keep your words in agreement with what heaven has decreed. Fear delays what faith accelerates. Doubt leaks what discipline preserves. See it, say it, walk as if you already hold it, because in the spirit you do. This is not maybe and not someday. This is now. The old cycle has ended. The years of scraping are finished. Step forward. Your check is dispatched, your season authorized, your destiny confirmed. God says, the waiting was never a punishment, it was preparation. Do not misinterpret the silence you endured. Heaven was never ignoring you. Every delayed answer, every closed door, every stagnant season was the architecture of destiny being built around you. You thought the stillness meant nothing was moving, but it was the very opposite. The stillness was God's shield, His way of keeping you hidden until your foundation could bear the weight of what was coming. Because you cannot carry extraordinary wealth with an ordinary spirit, and you cannot step into divine responsibility without divine preparation. The wilderness was not designed to break you, it was designed to build you. Every dry stretch was chiseling away what was shallow. Every disappointment was carving deeper wells inside you, wells that could hold more, give more, and withstand more. God was enlarging your capacity in secret. He was toughening your resolve, stretching your faith, sharpening your discernment. He knew this check would not just change your bank account, it would change your assignment. So he had to make sure your character was ready before the resources arrived. Understand this: abundance requires stability. Wealth amplifies what already lives inside you. If fear still ruled your thoughts, if pride still poisoned your motives, if desperation still drove your decisions, sudden overflow would have crushed you. The waiting purified those things. It burned away entitlement and planted endurance. It stripped the noise of people's opinions so you could finally hear heaven's instruction. That silence was not abandonment. It was a sacred classroom where resilience was forged and faith became your native language. And though the waiting felt endless, it was measured. Heaven never wastes time. Every moment was precisely calibrated to mature you into the kind of vessel that could receive without cracking, give without growing arrogant, and build without forgetting the builder. You were not being overlooked, you were being hidden on purpose, protected like a seed beneath soil until the time of emergence. Now, the season of waiting has accomplished its purpose. The wilderness has completed its work. What felt like a delay was actually acceleration in disguise, because the longer heaven took to prepare the vessel, the faster the outpouring can now be released. And because you endured what others abandoned, you will now step out not just with resources, but with authority. You will not squander this. You will multiply it. You will not collapse under the weight. You will carry it with unshakable grace. The silence is over. The green light has been given. The wilderness was never your prison, it was your proving ground. And now, because you survived it, you are cleared to enter the land of promise. God says, this check is not coming to help you survive, it is coming to help you build. Understand this with absolute clarity. What is being released is not merely currency. It is not just about paying off debts, catching up on bills, or breathing for a few months. That is too small for what heaven has planned. This is not relief, this is realignment. This is not a bandage, this is a blueprint. The big check is not about survival. It is about expansion, transformation, and legacy. It is heaven's confirmation that you are no longer being treated as someone who needs rescue, but as someone who has been chosen to carry responsibility. Scarcity trained you to survive on scraps. Overflow will now teach you to build empires. Scarcity made you cautious. Abundance will make you strategic. This check will not just fill your hands, it will expand your reach. It will revive dormant dreams and resurrect visions you buried because you lacked the means. It will fund the projects that once seemed impossible. It will open doors not only for you, but through you for generations who will walk paths paved by your obedience and sacrifice. Heaven does not place great wealth in careless hands. The very fact that this blessing is approaching proves something about you, that you have been weighed, tested, and found trustworthy. This is not just about you enjoying abundance. It is about you multiplying it, distributing it, and stewarding it with integrity. The check carries generational weight. It is a seed meant to bear fruit far beyond your lifetime. What you build with it will ripple through your family line, your community, and even people you may never meet. Your children will eat from the orchards that this check allows you to plant. Your name will become a testimony of what God can do with someone who refused to give up in the dark. And understand this: abundance is not arrogance. Wealth is not wickedness. This is not a reward for luck. This is a mantle of responsibility. It is heaven saying, I trust you now to carry what once would have crushed you. This is why the preparation had to be long and the refining had to be deep, because the weight of this blessing is holy. It is not coming to inflate your ego, but to expand the kingdom through your hands. So do not treat this like a mere windfall. Treat it like a commission, because it is. This is heaven appointing you as a distributor of resources, a channel of provision, a catalyst for transformation. The check is not the end goal, it is the beginning of your assignment. This is not just about money, this is about destiny unfolding. God says, this check is not only coming to change your circumstances, it is coming to heal your soul. Because what is arriving carries more than numbers and ink. It carries redemption. It carries restoration. It carries the weight of every tear you cried in silence, every door that slammed in your face, every season where you felt invisible while others advanced. This is not just provision. This is heaven's response to the wounds you collected on your way to this moment. The scars of lack, the ache of rejection, the sting of being overlooked, all of it has been recorded, and all of it is about to be answered. For years, you wondered if you were forgotten. You watched others receive while your hand stayed empty. You endured the whispers that maybe you weren't favored, Maybe you weren't chosen after all. But what looked like abandonment was a divine strategy. What looked like permanent loss was only temporary concealment. Now the very void that once mocked you will become the vault heaven fills to overflowing. This blessing is more than a financial breakthrough, it is a healing agent. It will do what therapy could not, what applause never satisfied, what striving never produced. It will restore your confidence, your joy, and your faith in what is possible. It will silence the accusations that told you you were behind, that your best years were gone, that you missed your moment. This check will be heaven's public declaration that you were never behind, you were being prepared. And when it arrives, it will not only meet your needs, it will rewrite your narrative. You will no longer be known as the one who lacked, but as the one who carried abundance with humility. The places where you were once pitied will become places where others come for wisdom. The tables that once excluded you will now wait for your voice to speak before they move forward. This is not just redemption of resources, this is redemption of reputation, of identity, of destiny itself. God is not only giving you back what you lost, He is multiplying it. The years the locusts devoured are about to be repaid in double portion, not just in wealth, but in peace, influence, and authority. The pain that once haunted your nights will be replaced by the sound of doors opening. The tears that once blurred your vision will be replaced by clarity and direction. This is more than money. This is restoration. And restoration does not return things as they were, it returns them better, stronger, fuller. Heaven is not just making you whole, heaven is making you unshakable. God says, when it comes, it will not trickle in, it will strike like lightning. Do not expect this blessing to arrive politely or gradually. Expect it to erupt. Expect it to overturn the very patterns you have grown accustomed to. For so long you have learned to live with delay, to brace yourself for disappointment, to whisper your hopes quietly so they would not shatter if they went unanswered. But heaven says, this is not that. This will not be another almost. This will not be another false start. This will be sudden, undeniable, and impossible to contain. Deposits will clear faster than expected. Contracts that stalled for months will suddenly be signed. Approvals that seemed buried will rise out of nowhere. Invitations you never pursued will come knocking. Phone calls will open doors that years of striving could not. This will not be a slow climb into abundance. It will be a sudden elevation. One day, you will wake up surrounded by silence, and by nightfall, you will be standing in answered prayers. That is how fast this will happen. And when it does, you will know it deep in your spirit. You will not need anyone to confirm it. The weight, the clarity, the undeniable timing, all of it will testify that this was not man's doing. This was heaven intervening on your behalf. This will be the kind of breakthrough that silences every skeptic, every doubt, every voice that told you to give up. But hear this warning. When it comes, do not shrink. Do not apologize for it. Do not dim your light to make others comfortable. The same people who questioned your silence will question your sudden success. Let them. Your assignment is not to explain. It is to walk in what God has released. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to step boldly, as though the promise is already in your hands, because in the Spirit it is. This blessing is not coming tiptoeing into your life. It is coming to redefine it. It will not just add to what you have. It will replace what was broken, erase what was lacking, and establish a new normal. You will never go back to a life of barely enough. This is not a flash of luck. This is the fulfillment of prophecy. This is not a fleeting moment. This is the start of a new era. The delay is over. The weight is broken. The storm of blessing is about to break open above you. And when it hits, it will not whisper, it will roar. God says, the delay is over, the door is open, step into it. This is not the time to hesitate. This is not the time to question if you are worthy. The waiting season has ended and heaven has ruled. You You are worthy, you are ready, you are chosen. The big check is not just money, it is heaven's seal of trust on your life. It is the public announcement that you have been moved from survival into stewardship, from obscurity into assignment. This is not charity. This is a commission. You must now shed every false belief that told you wealth was arrogance, that abundance was dangerous, that you had to stay small to stay holy. Those were lies meant to keep you chained to lack. God is not placing this in your hands to inflate your ego. He is placing it to expand His kingdom through you. This is why He stripped you down to faith alone. This is why He refined you when no one was watching. So that now, when you stand in overflow, your heart will remain anchored. So walk like it is already yours. Speak as if it is already done. Hold your posture as one entrusted, not entitled, because this is not a fleeting windfall, this is a mantle, and mantles require posture. Heaven is not only giving you resources, heaven is giving you responsibility. This blessing is not meant to terminate on you. It is meant to flow through you, to ignite visions, to fund freedom, to break chains for others who are still where you used to be. Do not downplay this. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. The world will try to reduce this to luck or coincidence, but you must not, because this is prophecy fulfilled. This is destiny confirmed. This is God saying to the earth, "This one carries my trust, and if he trusts you, you must trust yourself enough to walk in it." So rise, step out of the shadows you once hid in. Step into the rooms that once felt too big. Step onto the ground that trembles under the weight of your calling. This is not the moment to whisper. This is the moment to declare, "My season is here. My check is mine. God is with me." You are no longer waiting for a breakthrough. You are walking in it. The door is open. The mantle is yours. Your destiny is now. The door is open. The mantle is waiting, and it must be claimed in the courts of heaven. Let us pray. God of heaven, I come before you now with reverence, trembling in my bones, knowing I am standing on holy ground. You have spoken, and I refuse to let your word fall to the floor. You declared that my appointed time is no longer far, that it is knocking at my door, and so I open wide the gates of my heart and I say, "Come in, Lord. Let it be unto me according to your word." I broke the agreement with every voice that said I was too late, too broken, too small. I renounced the lies that told me abundance was arrogance and that lack was holiness. I silenced the shame that tried to convince me I was unworthy to receive. And now I come into full agreement with heaven's decree over my life, that I am chosen, trusted, and prepared for this mantle. Lord, I thank you for the wilderness, for every silent season that forged my faith, every closed door that refined my motives, every lonely night that carved deeper wells within me. I see now that none of it was wasted. You were not withholding from me. You were building me to hold what is now coming. Thank you for trusting me with the weight of glory that matches the weight of pain I once carried. So now, Father, I open my hands. I receive the big check not only as provision but as prophecy fulfilled, as confirmation that I have crossed from survival into stewardship. Let this resource not stop with me but flow through me. Use it to fund freedom, break chains, and build what will outlive me. Make me a faithful distributor of what you release. Guard my heart from pride. Anchor my soul in humility. Let my character always rise to the level of my calling. May my influence never outgrow my intimacy with you. May I never chase the blessing and forget the blesser. I declare by faith, I will not shrink. I will not apologize for your goodness. I will not downplay what you are about to pour out. I will walk like one entrusted, not entitled. I will multiply what you place in my hands. I will build what you whisper. I will give what you command. And I seal this word over my life with the authority of Jesus' name. The delay is over. The door is open. The mantle is mine. The time is now. Amen.